What's up guys, it's TechnoViking23 coming to you today with another Warframe video. And in today's video we're going to be talking about the Cambria spy mission on Earth, which is an early spy mission you get in the game. It's only level 2 to 4. And it's one of the missions I suggested to run to farm mods early on in Warframe when you were first starting out as a new player, because it's a pretty easy mission to get unlocked and it's also a very easy mission to go through and complete. And you can get some really good mod drops from it. And you can also get some lith relics and start building up your supply of those for when you want to start running some early void fishers to farm prime parts. So anyways, we're on Cambria on the Earth node. And this is a Grineer forest map, so it's actually pretty wide open and pretty easy to get through. You can run through here with pretty much any weapons you want. And most of the time in spy missions, you're going to want to use weapons that are a little quieter, like bows and kunai and things like that, because they don't make as much noise. Oftentimes you're going to have to worry about the Corpus or the Grineer setting off an alarm, depending on which map you're on. But in these open forest maps like here on Cambria, the Grineer don't actually set off any alarms, so you don't really have anything to worry about there early on. So that's one less thing to have to deal with. Now basically you're going to go through the map. There's going to be an A, a B, and a C vault that you have to go into and successfully complete a cipher on the Grineer vault so that it will open up and tell you that you found an unidentified item. Now our goal here is to get all three vaults pretty much flawlessly without losing any of them. When you get toward a vault, that's when you have to kind of worry. You'll open a security system and then you'll get into the vault, at which point you do have to worry about encountering enemies or them setting off an alarm, because it will start a data purge on the vault. And depending on what tier of spy mission you're doing, you can have anywhere from, like, I don't know how low it goes, but I've seen it as like 15 seconds, 30 seconds, 45 seconds. For these, you're going to have about 45 seconds to complete the cipher once the data starts being purged. And it's one of the reasons I suggested bringing along your own cipher, so you can instantly solve those puzzles and not have to worry about it. So we're going to go through each vault basically in detail here. Now these three vaults are going to be the same regardless of how many times you run this mission. They will alternate sometimes. Sometimes the vault you run into on A on one mission will be the vault in B or C and so forth, but it's the same three vaults each time. So this first vault we're in, it's going to have a corridor going down to like a little waterfall. You're going to jump in the waterfall and it's going to take you down. Now you will either find two patrolling Grineer enemies, or there will be like a sensor bot in here that will have little laser lights coming out, and if you hit any of the laser lights, it will trigger the alarm and start the data purge. In this case, we really just want to take a look around at first, see if we can find the enemies without being seen, and figure out how we can kill them quietly, which is why. So we're just going to take this guy out with the bow pretty quickly, and I don't believe there's anyone else in this vault. Normally you'll just have the little security guy with the lasers, and you'll have to avoid him. But it's pretty easy to get through this room. You're just going to bullet jump up the stairs a couple of times, try to find an area that you can land on pretty safely. This will help you avoid most of the traps in the room, and it's pretty simple to just bullet jump all the way up to the room that the vault is located in. And then it's just a matter of solving a pretty simple security terminal, and you will get right into the vault here. So pretty easy. This is one of the easier maps to do this on, which is one of the reasons I suggest just farming this Cambria spy mission. So we're going to unlock our vault here and get our first item, which will be unidentified. We'll see what it is later on when we get to the loot screen. Now let's move on to the next vault. Alright, so here we are at the B vault, and we have a couple of enemies we have to clear out here. I'm just going to take them out with the bow really quickly. Like I said, the bow is a good weapon to bring on these spy missions because it's pretty quiet and has suppressed sound, so even if you miss a couple shots, the enemies aren't going to see you. So this vault is going to have three big waterfalls in the back, and you're going to see some lines overhead you can use to traverse the map. But basically it's very important on this one to find out where the enemies are patrolling, because there's two and this is a fairly big room, so if one of them sees you, they can trigger the alarm and start the data purge. That's a great shot right there we just missed, but again, you saw it was a quiet shot, so none of the other enemies actually were triggered. First thing you're going to want to do is come to this very first security station here, and you're going to solve that quick puzzle. That's going to actually drop the water level a little bit. Now the water initially, if you go into it, you will kind of like sink and it'll reset the map for you, so you don't want to jump down into the water just yet. And the vault is down, as you can see, underneath where the water is. So get that first security terminal in the front, and then you're going to try to find this other guy and kill him. There's only two enemies in this room normally. And then there's going to be a second security terminal here in the back. You're going to come, you're going to solve this one. Now, that will drop the water level again, but there's one more terminal you have to go to, and it's going to be up in the top behind this waterfall in the middle. There's two ways you can go up there. You can actually smash through the pipe on the right side and use that to climb up, or you can just go straight up either on the line right there, or just jump up like I did, solve this last cipher here. And then if you want to go in the back, there's usually some storage lockers that have some loot and stuff in them, if depending on how many of them are green. And that's pretty much it. So then you come down here, you're going to have to shoot out the sensor bar on the front of the door and solve one more security terminal to get inside, and you're pretty much at the vault at that point. And this is one of the easier rooms to get through. Just requires a little patience. I know at first it can be confusing when you first walk in here and you kind of see that the vault is underwater and there's all these different terminals you have to find. But it's going to be the same terminal sequence every time. You do the one in the front, you do the one in the back, and then you jump upstairs and do the one in the very back behind the waterfall, and that will open up the vault. And like I said, there's usually just 2 Grineer enemies patrolling this map, so make sure you take them out before you try to go through it, because you can usually get the first one early on, and then the second one might see you when you're trying to open up the second security terminal, so you always want to make sure you kill both those guys before you go through. All right, guys, so that's the second vault on the map. Let's go ahead and move on to the third. Alright, so here we are at the C vault, the final vault on the map. Now again, keep in mind these vaults will change in the order of appearance, but they're always going to be the exact same vaults in terms of the map layout. Now the C vault, this can alter a little bit when you get into it. There's going to be these force fields that come and go, and they can be at any point in this room, so just kind of stand at the opening at the beginning and see where they are so you can easily avoid them. Now, sometimes there's a sentry bot standing there. Other times you're going to get a Grineer enemy, and which means there's going to be one there and one also on the inside of the room. Very easy to get into this one here. You just slide right down through the little sewer area, the water runoff area here, and then you'll come into this room next. Now, you want to be careful. Stay on the bottom for a minute and see if you can find out where the Grineer guy is hiding, and try not to miss him with an easy shot like I just did. But normally he'll be right in front of the door or patrolling that platform, and there's also a second sentry bot that can appear there, which will be right in front of the door normally, which you should be able to one-shot with your bow at this point in the game, even though you've just started, if you got some good damage on it. And there you go. That's probably the easiest room to get into of the 3 vaults that'll appear on Cambria. And like I said before, keep in mind, they're not going to be in the same order every time like you saw in the video, but it's going to be the exact same layout each time you go into the vault. So those 3 vaults that you just saw are going to be the same 3 vaults you get every single time when you come through and play this map. So that's one of the reasons I suggest doing it. We went kind of slow in this map just because, for educational purposes for the newer players. But you can usually run through this in about 5 minutes, even if you're not really trying too hard. And that's why I said it's a really easy farm when you're first starting off the game. To pick up some decent mods and to also get some lith relics built up in your inventory. You're also going to get the drops from killing the enemies, so you'll hopefully get a couple other mods to drop. The Grineer drops some pretty good mods for you early on, like Vitality is definitely a good one. You can get Serration to drop from some of the vaults, which is a great mod for your rifles early on. A lot of you probably went with the Mark I Bratton, which is going to help you do a lot more damage. And you'll see here in a minute when we get to the end game in mission screen what we got in terms of the drops. We're just going to run through here real quick. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time getting the 2 loot rooms on the side of this here, because for the video I just wanted to kind of keep it short. But that's pretty much it for running the Cambria vault. And if you guys have any questions about it, of course, leave them down below and let me know, if it's giving you any trouble at all. But it shouldn't be too bad with this mission. Anyways, guys, I hope you found this video helpful. Thanks as always for watching, and I will see you again next time.